They insult you. They deceive you. They betray you when you need them the most. But still, you stand unshaken. You don't erupt in anger. You don't react impulsively because your mind has been trained. A trained mind isn't swayed by every thought or overwhelmed by chaos. It remains calm, observant, and patient, in a world constantly trying to provoke you. The most composed person is the most powerful. This is not a weakness. This is control. It's strength, precision, and true power. When emotions surge and the storm threatens to take over, will you be the one who panics? Or will you be the calm in the storm's eye? It's time to train your mind and master your world. In just a moment, you'll discover the secret to keeping your mind calm in any situation, no matter how difficult. It begins with mastering mental control. The greatest battlefield you will ever face is not in the world around you, but within your own mind. When you gain control over your thoughts, you unlock the ultimate power over your life. You see, there's a strength inside you that no obstacle can defeat. It's your ability to remain steady when everything around you falls apart. History's most successful individuals knew this truth well. Thomas Edison, for example, faced over 10,000 failures before creating the electric light bulb. Yet, when his laboratory burned to the ground, taking years of research and irreplaceable notes, he didn't break. At age 67, he watched his life's work turn to ash and calmly turned to his son, saying, "Go get your mother. She never see anything like this again." The next morning, standing amidst the ruins, he said, "There's great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." This is the power you hold within you, the ability to face any disaster with a composed mind. When you maintain this mental calm, you'll see opportunities where others only see failure. Your mind becomes a place of clarity, not panic. Understand this. You are where you are because of your mindset. Your circumstances don't determine your state of mind. Your state of mind determines your circumstances. This is the first principle to embrace in order to cultivate unshakable calm in any situation. It develops focused attention. When you're faced with overwhelming pressure, you need a method to regain your balance quickly. I call this principle controlled attention. It works because it redirects your focus from harmful thoughts to productive actions. The moment you feel tension building, stop whatever you're doing and apply this principle. First, recognize that your emotions are controlled by your thoughts, not the circumstances around you. Take several deep breaths to break the cycle of negativity that triggers emotional upheaval. Next, ask yourself, what's the one constructive action I can take right now? This simple question shifts your focus from the chaos surrounding you to what you can control. President Calvin Coolidge, known for his unshakable calm in crises that would have rattled most leaders, once said, "If you see 10 troubles coming down the road, you can be sure 9 will run into the ditch before they reach you." He knew that most of what we worry about never happens. The final step in applying this principle is to take immediate, decisive action, no matter how small. When Andrew Carnegie faced potential financial disaster during the Panic of 1873, he didn't waste time on worry. He focused on the very next step he could take. This principle of taking immediate action dissolves anxiety because it shifts you from being a passive victim to an active participant in your life. Remember, your mind can't hold both focused action and fearful thoughts at the same time. Choose action, and calm will follow naturally. Next, it helps to build your emotional fortress. Your emotions don't have to be at the mercy of external events. Your emotional resilience is something you build daily, one thought at a time. Just as a physical fortress isn't built during a crisis, but over time with careful planning, your emotional strength must be developed through consistent effort. Emotional mastery isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about choosing which emotions to entertain and which to dismiss. Helen Keller, despite being both deaf and blind from a young age, developed such emotional fortitude that she graduated from college with honors and became an internationally recognized author and speaker. Asked about her extraordinary achievements in the face of unimaginable challenges, she said, "I long to accomplish great and noble tasks, but it is my chief duty to accomplish humble tasks as though they were great and noble." Her emotional strength wasn't built overnight. It was built through countless small decisions. To focus on possibilities instead of limitations, You can start building your emotional fortress today by adopting what I call a mental diet. Just as you carefully choose what goes into your physical body, you must be equally selective about the thoughts you allow into your mind. It's time to take control. Train your mind, rule your world. Feed your mind with stories of triumph over adversity, ideas that stretch your understanding of what's possible, and perspectives that focus on solutions instead of problems. By consistently practicing this mental diet, you'll build an inner stability that remains firm even when your outer world is in chaos. The foundation of your emotional fortress starts with a clear, definite purpose. Every great achiever in history had a deep, burning desire that anchored them during the hardest times. What is your purpose? What goal or mission is so compelling that it can guide your thoughts when everything around you tries to derail you? Without this foundation, your emotional fortress is vulnerable to collapse at the first sign of adversity. The walls of your fortress are built through the practice of controlled thought. This is not something you're born with. It's a skill you must develop each day. Start every morning by setting your emotional intention for the day. Will you let random events decide your emotional state, or will you choose the thoughts that align with your highest good? This intentional approach to your mental life builds emotional strength over time, just as daily exercise strengthens your body. Your perspective, or the windows of your fortress, must be kept clean and clear. How do you view your experiences? Charles M. Schwab, a great industrialist, kept his composure during financial crises by asking himself, what opportunity is hidden in this difficulty? This mindset allowed him to see possibilities when others only saw problems. Your perspective, too, is entirely within your control, no matter what's happening externally. The gate of your fortress, which controls what enters your mind, must be guarded carefully. The media, books, conversations, and the people you surround yourself with will either fortify or weaken your emotional state. Thomas Jefferson understood this when he said, "Nothing can now be believed which is seen in a newspaper." He carefully selected what information would influence his thoughts. You must do the same, especially when your emotional balance is under threat. Within the inner courtyard of your fortress lies the garden of gratitude. No negative emotion can survive in the presence of true thankfulness. Even in your darkest moments, there's always something to be grateful for. When Andrew Carnegie faced the possibility of ruin, he didn't focus on what he might lose, but on what he still had: his knowledge, his relationships, and his ability to start over. This practice of gratitude becomes a key part of emotional stability. The watchtower of your fortress helps you stay vigilant against destructive thinking. From this vantage point, you'll learn to spot negative thought patterns before they take root. The moment you notice thoughts of worry, fear, or resentment, redirect your mental energy to something constructive. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about strategically using your most valuable resource, your attention. Remember, your emotional fortress isn't built to isolate you from the world. It's there to strengthen you. Its purpose is to help you engage with life's challenges from a place of inner security. The true measure of emotional mastery isn't the absence of difficulties, but your ability to remain calm and effective in the face of them. Start today by building your fortress, one stone at a time, thought by thought, and you will create a strength of character that no external circumstance can shake. Now, let's talk about emotional support. Achieving remarkable things and maintaining emotional balance isn't something you do alone. Building a mastermind alliance, a group of supportive, like-minded individuals, provides the foundation for your personal growth and helps you stay composed during tough times. This strategy has been used by countless successful people throughout history. These mastermind groups are made up of partnerships focused on achieving specific goals, particularly in developing unwavering mental strength. Henry Ford, despite having limited formal education, surrounded himself with brilliant minds who helped him stay focused through his many struggles. When others mocked his Model T idea, his network of supportive individuals helped him stay resolute. Likewise, your resilience will grow stronger when you intentionally choose people who bring balance, insight, and strength into your life. 2. Create your own emotional support mastermind. Start by identifying at least 3 individuals who exemplify the mental discipline you want to develop. Reach out to them with a clear purpose and arrange regular meetings for collective growth. By surrounding yourself with a network of like-minded individuals, you will find that your emotional fortitude grows exponentially. Embrace transparency, both in your struggles and your triumphs. Authentic connections strengthen your emotional resilience, as meaningful relationships create the environment where personal growth thrives. No major achievement in history has been made in isolation, and your pursuit of unshakable calm follows the same principle. The right alliances amplify your potential, offering shared wisdom, constructive feedback, and mutual encouragement. Members of your mastermind group should bring diverse perspectives, yet share core values that align with your goals. Seek out individuals who are honest, yet gentle in their approach, offering valuable insights when needed and celebrating your progress along the way. These relationships form safe spaces where vulnerability is welcomed, allowing you to tackle challenges that might otherwise go unspoken. Regular meetings foster accountability and momentum. Whether you meet weekly, monthly, or quarterly, consistency is key. Structure these gatherings around specific topics, personal updates, and joint problem-solving. This disciplined approach transforms casual friendships into powerful growth partnerships. Most effective mastermind groups operate on the principle of reciprocity. Every participant both gives and receives value. As you share your difficulties and breakthroughs, others gain valuable perspective from your experiences. This exchange of insights strengthens the bond between you, fueling collective growth. Particularly tough times, your alliance becomes your anchor. They provide an objective view when emotions cloud your judgment, remind you of past victories when self-doubt creeps in, and keep believing in you when your confidence falters. Over time, mastermind relationships evolve naturally. What begins as professional development may deepen into broader support networks that address various aspects of life. Let this growth happen organically, rather than rushing into deep connections. With technology, mastermind groups can extend beyond local boundaries. Virtual meetings allow people from around the world to connect, offering a global network of minds. However, no matter the format, trust, commitment, and shared purpose must remain at the heart of these alliances. The journey toward emotional mastery is no different from any worthwhile endeavor. It requires consistent practice, a supportive community, and unwavering dedication. Your carefully chosen alliances will not only accelerate your progress, but provide vital encouragement during inevitable setbacks. Begin today by identifying potential mastermind members and start initiating conversations to form these intentional, purposeful connections. These relationships will become some of your most valuable assets in achieving unshakable emotional balance and extraordinary success. Now let's turn inward. The most important conversations you'll have are not with others but with yourself. Your internal dialogue shapes your perception of reality far more powerfully than any external voice. When you face challenges, what do you tell yourself? Do you reinforce fear and doubt, or do you speak words of courage and possibility? This isn't just positive thinking, it's a strategic use of your most powerful mental resource. That the quality of your life isn't determined by what happens to you, but by how you interpret what happens. After studying the minds of over 500 successful individuals, I can confirm that their greatest accomplishment was mastering their internal conversation. The thoughts you entertain consistently create pathways for all future thoughts to follow. Theodore Roosevelt, who transformed himself from a frail, asthmatic child into one of America's most resilient leaders, achieved this by reshaping his inner narrative. "I am the captain of my soul," he declared, even when his physical health suggested otherwise. His mind led and his circumstances followed. Your self-talk creates self-fulfilling prophecies. When you tell yourself, "This is overwhelming," your mind generates overwhelming emotions. But when you declare, "I have overcome challenges before, and I will master this one too," your mind begins generating solutions instead of stress. This principle works with mathematical certainty. The subconscious mind accepts whatever the conscious mind repeatedly suggests. It doesn't differentiate between helpful or harmful thoughts. It simply works day and night to make your persistent thoughts a reality. This is both a danger and an opportunity. Start today by auditing your habitual phrases. Shift your mindset and watch how your internal dialogue transforms your world. What do you say to yourself when things don't go as planned? Replace negative statements with ones that acknowledge the situation, while highlighting your ability to respond effectively. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," try, "This is difficult, but I'm taking it one step at a time." Rather than thinking, "Everything is falling apart," say, "I'm being challenged to find a new approach." Failure doesn't come from a lack of ability, but from destructive mental habits that undermine your potential. A mind that constantly focuses on limitations traps itself in those very thoughts. On the other hand, a mind that seeks solutions will eventually find them. Your words shape your reality. They guide your focus, and your focus determines your emotional state. When you master your self-talk, you master your ability to remain calm, no matter the circumstances. This emotional control is a hallmark of leadership and personal strength. Remember, your subconscious takes your words literally. If you say, "I am tired," you will feel more tired. But if you say, "I am energized by this challenge," your body responds accordingly. Choose your words with the same care a pharmacist uses when filling prescriptions, because they hold incredible power. The greatest discovery from my research is this: you can alter the course of your life by changing your habitual thoughts and speech patterns. This power is immediately available to you, requiring no external permission or resources. It's the ultimate form of personal freedom. Every mind has the opportunity to choose its dominant thoughts. Start this practice today and watch how your experience of life transforms. While your circumstances may not change instantly, your perception of them will shift dramatically. In time, even the most stubborn external conditions must adjust to match your persistent internal dialogue. Master your thoughts, master your words, and you master your destiny. Next, let's talk about the deliberate response method. Between stimulus and response lies a space. In that space is your power to choose your reaction. Your choice in that moment determines your growth and freedom. Most people react automatically to challenging situations, letting their primitive brain hijack their rational mind. But you can train yourself to respond with intention rather than impulse. This distinction between reaction and response is what separates those who are controlled by circumstances from those who remain composed regardless of external conditions. Abraham Lincoln, known for writing fiery letters when provoked by incompetence or betrayal, exemplified this. He would pour out his anger on paper, then put the letter in a drawer, never to be sent. When asked about this habit, he explained that it allowed him to release emotional energy without creating consequences he might later regret. Lincoln understood the principle of the deliberate response method. Acknowledge your initial emotional reaction privately, but choose your public response carefully. Our brains are wired for quick reactions, a survival mechanism from our evolutionary past. When faced with a threat, our amygdala triggers the fight or flight response before our rational mind can fully process the situation. This biological reality explains why we often react in ways we regret later. The good news is that we can rewire these patterns through conscious practice. The space between stimulus and response isn't fixed, it can be expanded. Each time you pause before reacting, you strengthen the neural pathways that support thoughtful responses instead of impulsive ones. This practice creates a positive cycle. More pauses lead to better responses, which lead to better outcomes, which reinforce the value of pausing. You can start implementing the deliberate response method today with a simple practice. When faced with a triggering situation, silently count to 10 before speaking or taking action. During those 10 seconds, ask yourself, will my natural reaction serve my highest goals? If not, choose a response that aligns with the person you aspire to be, not just the emotion you feel in the moment. The benefits of mastering this skill extend far beyond avoiding regrettable outbursts. Research shows that people with better emotional regulation have healthier relationships, lower stress levels, improved decision-making, and even longer lives. By creating space between stimulus and response, you're literally rewiring your brain for greater well-being. In professional settings, this practice becomes invaluable. Leaders who respond, rather than react, inspire trust and confidence. They make decisions based on principles, not pressures. They model emotional intelligence that others naturally want to emulate. Of course, adopting this practice isn't always easy, but the results are worth the effort. In moments of intense emotion, remembering to pause can feel nearly impossible. Start small by practicing in low-stakes situations. Notice those minor irritations throughout your day and use them as opportunities to pause. Over time, your ability to pause will grow, and you'll find that you can manage more intense emotions as well. The paradox of the deliberate response method is this: by slowing down your initial reaction, you actually speed up your progress toward your most important goals. Each thoughtful response creates momentum, bringing you closer to the person you aspire to be. With consistent practice, the gap between stimulus and response will widen, giving you more freedom to choose calm over chaos in any situation. This growing space becomes your sanctuary of freedom, a place where you reclaim your power from circumstances and exercise your uniquely human capacity to choose. Remember, between stimulus and response lies a space. Master that space, and you master your ability to remain calm in the face of any challenge. Your mind and body are not separate entities. They are interconnected. The state of your physical body directly impacts your ability to maintain mental calm. Many overlook this principle when seeking emotional mastery, yet it offers one of the most direct paths to an unshakable mind. When your body is functioning at its best, your capacity to handle stress increases significantly, allowing you to stay composed in situations that would overwhelm others. John D. Rockefeller, who built one of the largest fortunes in history while enduring public scrutiny, lived to the age of 97 largely because he prioritized physical habits that supported mental calm. During his peak years, when stress began to take a toll on his health, he revolutionized his daily routine. He took afternoon naps, spent time outdoors daily, and engaged in light physical exercise, regardless of his demanding schedule. These habits not only restored his health, but also maintained his mental equilibrium. This connection between physical well-being and mental resilience isn't just anecdotal, it's backed by modern neuroscience. Our physiological state forms the foundation of our psychological experience. When the body is in distress, whether from exhaustion, inflammation, or poor nutrition, it triggers stress hormones that make calm thinking nearly impossible. Regardless of mental discipline, consider the business executive who prides herself on her mental toughness, yet survives on 4 hours of sleep and caffeine. Her perception of resilience is merely an illusion. She's operating at a fraction of her potential and dealing with stress responses far more intense than necessary. In contrast, a colleague who prioritizes 8 hours of sleep handles the same challenges with genuine calm, making clearer decisions and experiencing far less internal turmoil. You can lay your own physical foundation for mental calm by committing to 3 non-negotiable daily practices. First, ensure you get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, as sleep deprivation lowers your threshold for stress. Second, engage in at least 30 minutes of physical movement each day that elevates your heart rate, releasing tension from your body and endorphins into your brain. Third, be mindful of your nutrition, minimizing stimulants and processed foods that create internal chaos. When you prioritize these physical fundamentals, you'll be amazed at how much more mental pressure you can handle with grace and clarity. These practices aren't luxuries. They're necessities for those who face significant demands yet still wish to maintain inner peace. The ancient Stoics understood this principle. Epictetus said that one cannot separate the health of the body from the tranquility of the mind. In today's terms, we might say this is about stress-proofing your nervous system. The beauty of this approach is that it's accessible to everyone. While advanced meditation techniques can take years to master, anyone can improve their sleep hygiene tonight or take a brisk walk tomorrow morning. These simple physical practices offer immediate benefits to your mental state. Those who adopt these habits often report not only greater calm but improved mental performance across all areas of life. Thoughts become clearer, emotional reactions less intense, and creative insights more accessible. The noise of unnecessary internal stress lowers, allowing more subtle mental signals to emerge. As you build this physical foundation for mental mastery, keep in mind that setbacks are temporary. One night of poor sleep or a missed workout doesn't undo your progress. The goal isn't perfection, but consistent, sustainable habits that support your best mental functioning. Remember Rockefeller's example. He understood that investing time in physical wellness wasn't time taken away from his work. It was an investment in his ability to handle his work with exceptional clarity and endurance. By following his example, you build not just a calmer mind, but the resilience to face life's inevitable challenges with strength and composure. Your perception of events shapes their impact on your emotional state far more than the events themselves. Two people can experience the same circumstances, but respond completely differently depending on their perspective. This principle offers you tremendous power, the ability to reframe any situation in a way that supports your mental calm instead of undermining it. It's not about denying reality, but about choosing which aspects of reality to focus on. Charles M. Schwab, who rose from day laborer to president of the United States Steel Corporation, became one of America's wealthiest men. During financial panics that destroyed many businesses, Schwab remained remarkably calm. When asked about his ability to stay composed amid chaos, he said, "I have observed that those who achieve lasting success do so not by railing against unfortunate circumstances, but by finding the favorable aspects of those circumstances." His perspective allowed him to transform potential disaster into opportunity. This wisdom resonates through history. The most successful individuals have always understood that the mind can change any circumstance through interpretation. As one great thinker noted, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Opportunity often wears the disguise of temporary defeat. Those who learn to look past the obstacle to find hidden opportunities maintain their emotional balance, while others succumb to despair. The wealthiest and most accomplished people share this remarkable ability to turn negative experiences into stepping stones toward their goals. They understand that failure is never final unless you accept it as such. This perspective turns setbacks into valuable lessons rather than emotional disasters. You can harness the power of perspective with a simple yet powerful question. In 5 years, what will matter most about how I handle this situation? This question immediately reduces the emotional intensity of the moment and helps you focus on what truly deserves your attention. Another perspective-shifting question to consider is, what opportunity might be disguised in this difficulty? Your mind can only see what it is prepared to comprehend. Train yourself to look for opportunity in adversity, and you will find that your emotional equilibrium remains steady, even in turbulent situations. This ability to reframe becomes especially critical during personal or professional setbacks. The most successful individuals never lose faith in their ability to achieve their goals, regardless of temporary failures. They understand that persistence is futile without the proper perspective. One must persist intelligently, learning and adapting rather than just repeating failed approaches. You can develop this skill of perspective shifting through daily practice. Begin by monitoring your thoughts closely, recognizing that negative emotions arise from interpretations, not circumstances themselves. When facing challenges, consciously replace negative thoughts with more constructive alternatives. This mental discipline will gradually become a habit, forming an automatic tendency to adopt more beneficial perspectives. True emotional mastery doesn't come from controlling external events, but from controlling your reactions to them. A person who has mastered this skill possesses a form of freedom, unavailable to those whose emotions are controlled by external circumstances. As you become skilled at shifting perspectives, challenges that once seemed overwhelming will transform into opportunities to demonstrate your mental strength and strategic thinking. With consistent practice, you will find that your ability to stay calm amidst chaos grows steadily. Situations that once triggered stress will now spark curiosity and creative problem-solving. This transformation represents one of life's most valuable achievements, the ability to maintain mental composure, regardless of what happens around. You adopt the strategic use of visualization. Your mind cannot tell the difference between vividly imagined experiences and actual ones. This principle gives you an extraordinary tool for developing mental calm, strategic visualization. By mentally rehearsing challenging situations, you can program your desired response in advance. This mental rehearsal creates neural pathways that your brain will naturally follow when the real situation arises, helping you access calm automatically. Bobby Jones, the legendary golfer who dominated in the 1920s, attributed much of his success under pressure to visualization. Before every shot, he would mentally picture the perfect trajectory and landing of the ball. "I never hit a shot," he said, "not even in practice, without having a very sharp and focused picture of it in my head." This same technique can be applied to any situation where you want to maintain your composure. Neurologically, visualization activates the same brain regions as actual physical experience. When you vividly imagine performing an action, your brain fires neural patterns similar to when you actually perform it. By practicing strategic visualization, you can prepare yourself to handle difficult situations with greater ease, ensuring that your response is one of calm and clarity rather than chaos and stress. Athletes have understood the power of mental practice for decades, with studies showing that visualizing an action can significantly enhance physical performance. But the applications of this principle extend far beyond sports. Take public speaking, for example. Through regular visualization, you can train your nervous system to associate speaking opportunities with confidence rather than anxiety. By repeatedly imagining yourself delivering a powerful presentation, feeling grounded, hearing your steady voice, and seeing an engaged audience, you create a mental blueprint that your brain will follow when the real moment arrives. What makes strategic visualization so powerful is its accessibility. Unlike many techniques that require special circumstances or equipment, this practice can be done anywhere, anytime. A few minutes of focused mental rehearsal, either in the morning or before bed, can produce remarkable results. The key to effective visualization lies in sensory richness. Don't just think about the situation, experience it. Incorporate all of your senses. What do you see? What sounds are present? What physical sensations accompany your state of calm? The more detailed and immersive your visualization, the more effectively it programs your nervous system. Emotional engagement is equally important. As you visualize, truly feel the emotional state you want to embody. For instance, if you're practicing maintaining calm during a difficult conversation, imagine the sense of centeredness you want to experience. Feel the steady rhythm of your breathing and the clarity of your thoughts. Your brain doesn't just record the scenario, it also registers the emotional state attached to it. To begin implementing strategic visualization, identify 3 challenging scenarios you commonly face. These could be difficult conversations with specific people, high-pressure work situations, or circumstances that typically trigger anxiety. Spend just 5 minutes a day visualizing yourself navigating these scenarios with complete calm and clarity. See the details vividly, the environment, the people involved, the words exchanged. Most importantly, feel the emotional state of composure you want to maintain. With consistent practice, you'll find that when similar situations arise in real life, your mind and body will naturally remember the calm state you've mentally rehearsed. Consistency is key. 5 minutes of focused visualization each day will produce better results than an hour once a week. Consider incorporating this practice into your existing routines, right after meditation or just before sleep. When your mind is naturally more receptive. As you develop this skill, you'll discover that strategic visualization becomes more than just a technique. It transforms into a fundamental approach to facing life's challenges. It turns potentially stressful situations into opportunities to perform at your highest level. In times of crisis, true character emerges. How you handle yourself in the face of adversity not only determines your immediate outcomes, but also shapes your enduring legacy. When chaos surrounds you, your ability to maintain mental clarity and emotional stability sets you apart as a leader, regardless of titles or positions. Florence Nightingale, during the Crimean War, is a perfect example. While others recoiled from the horrific conditions in military hospitals, Nightingale remained calm and methodical. She introduced basic sanitation practices in the midst of suffering, dramatically reducing the mortality rate. Her composed presence became a beacon of hope and direction. Soldiers, doctors, and nurses followed her lead, not because of official authority, but because her calm inspired confidence when fear threatened to overwhelm everyone else. This pattern repeats throughout history, and it's evident in our everyday lives. Those who maintain their center during difficulties naturally attract others. Whether in families, workplaces, or communities, composed individuals become informal leaders. Their steady presence creates islands of calm amid turbulent waters. Your composure has a ripple effect that extends far beyond the immediate situation. When you respond thoughtfully to challenges, rather than reacting emotionally, you create an environment that promotes clearer thinking and better decision-making. Others pick up on this shift and naturally align with your energy. Your calm becomes contagious. Children, especially, absorb these lessons deeply. They learn not from lectures about managing stress, but from watching how you handle setbacks, when plans fall apart, when finances are tight, or when conflicts arise. Your example writes itself into their emotional blueprint, influencing how they will handle their own future challenges. Colleagues and friends also draw strength from your steady presence. In intense meetings, difficult conversations, or moments of uncertainty, your composure offers an alternative to anxiety and reactivity. You show that it is possible to remain calm and collected even when the pressure is on. This capacity for composure isn't something you're born with, it's cultivated through consistent practice. Every difficult moment is an opportunity to strengthen this muscle. The more you practice, the more naturally it will come to you in moments of crisis, enabling you to maintain your calm and make decisions with clarity, no matter the situation. When you feel yourself being pulled into reaction, the simple act of pausing and breathing consciously can reset your nervous system. Regular practices like meditation, reflection, or physical disciplines enhance your ability to remain centered when it truly matters. The development of unshakable calm is one of life's most valuable achievements. It transforms not only your external outcomes, but your internal experience. Challenges that once would have knocked you off course for days become mere moments of temporary turbulence. Problems that once seemed overwhelming turn into puzzles that you can solve methodically. The ultimate measure of your success isn't the absence of storms in your life, but your ability to bring peace to those storms. Everyone faces difficulties. What sets extraordinary individuals apart is how they choose to face them. This is your true legacy, not what you accumulate or achieve, but who you become and how your transformation touches others. Long after specific accomplishments fade from memory, people will remember how you made them feel in moments of crisis. They will recall the confidence you inspired, the clarity you maintained, and the compassion you demonstrated. By cultivating composure. By embodying this practice of mental mastery, you offer others a living example of what's possible in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Your calm presence becomes a gift that continues to inspire and give long after you've left the room.